everybody, welcome to The Garage. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Peter Clayton is behind the camera with his cup of black tea.
Yes.
Black tea. I don't know how you can drink black tea. Oh. I drink green tea, and that's different because it's very watery and very...
Yes, well, I drink that too, but I was sort of weaned on black tea.
Weaned on black tea?
Almost.
Well, I must tell you something. We're recording Monday and Tuesday's show on Sunday afternoon in the garage. I got this afternoon from Ann Wills. I'll share it with you. Dear, where are we? Dear Jeremy and Caroline, saw this gorgeous boy Christopher last night in Hamlet. It's a Peter Ger's production of Hamlet in 15 minutes. Can you imagine what an editing job that would be? Hamlet in 15 minutes. He's superb. I think he's going to be a big name in the entertainment industry. We need to nurture him. You must be very proud of him. Congratulations. I told him how fabulous he was, and we'll go back and see it again. Lots of love, Willsy. And I sent this back to Ann Wills. I said, Willsy, thank you so much. Yes, we are very proud of him. But as my mother said to me all those years ago, get a proper job. I didn't take her advice, so I guess Christopher won't take it either. But thank you for your support. Lots of love, Jeremy. Wasn't that sweet, though? And Christopher came in on the show on Friday afternoon around the dining room table, jeremycordeaux.com. And I was quite amazed that he was so, golly, I don't know, grown up. It's grown up right under my nose. I suppose they do that, don't they? John Bruni, Dr. John Bruni from Sage International, he came in as well on Friday. Les Ellicus and his Ellicus report. Pee Wee Wilson of the Deltones, he was wonderful. Theo Maris, George Danikian, Jeff Kennett was on the program as well. I don't know what's coming up this Friday, but I'll let you know. 35 asylum seekers arrive in Beagle Bay. Beagle Bay, it must be named after the Darwin boat, Charles Darwin's boat, I would think. It's an Aboriginal settlement not far from Broome. They were from Pakistan and Bangladesh and India, probably via Indonesia. They would be, I would think, economic refugees. First, let me say, we have a unique problem. We can't possibly protect, guard, or watch over our enormous northern coastline. We have this gingerly over-the-horizon radar thing, but I just don't know how effective and modern that is. It's been around forever. The coastline is long, it's big, so it's absolutely vital that these people don't get on a boat in the first place. That's where you nip the thing in the bud, which leads me to state the absolute obvious. Perception is reality. This Labour government, all Labour governments probably, will be seen as being weak on border control. And the truth is, if you can't control your borders, you will lose your country. It is that simple. And with 20 million refugees and asylum seekers on the move, looking for a better place to live, and who could blame them at any one time, we cannot afford to look hesitant, ambiguous, or confused for 1 second. No mixed messages. And on immigration, this government, I'm afraid, is lost. You may disagree. You can do that on the phone on Friday if you want. $700 million to create jobs in remote areas of Australia. This is the Closing the Gap report. I don't know how many Closing the Gap reports there have been, but there have been many. According to Warren Mundine, we're talking about 1% of Aboriginal people virtually in this predicament because of their choice to live in remote parts of Australia. It's virtually a handful of people. So what do? Oh, we're good at throwing money at problems. We set up a new bureaucracy with the vaguest set of objectives. No details. And oh yes, more nonsense about truth and treaty. Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think they can handle the truth, to borrow somebody else's line. And treaty? What's treaty about? Treaty's about compensation. You see, it's not about money. Between the $40 billion and all the mining royalties, there is no shortage of money. The money is there, sufficient to make every single Aboriginal man, woman and child very wealthy by anyone's standards. It's not about money. It's about the government and its bureaucracy and the Aboriginal industry. And then you've got to look at where the government's heart is on the subject. You only have to look at the three flags behind the Prime Minister and his campaign in support of the Voice to know where his heart is. These people have been allowed to think in Canberra that they don't govern for 99% of the people, they govern for 1%. They must be nuts, or frankly we just allow them, and the media allows them to go on with their crazy thinking. Oh, talking about crazy. Oh, well, perhaps it isn't crazy. It's open to debate. But we all know there is a housing crisis. And we are seeing in Canberra at the moment a mock showdown. A mock showdown taking place in Parliament House. Labor's plan is to partner people into buying a house. Yes, the taxpayer will invest 30% if you buy an existing house and 40% if you are going to build a new house. Then, of course, the thing is that you have to pay it back along with whatever capital gain you may make when you sell. Okay, I think. I don't know. There's something about this idea that sounds very familiar. I've got to do some research. Anyway, the Libs say no, no way. And that means the government is going to have to go to the Greens, who want a horse trade, of course. Yes, yes, we'll go along with it. But you're going to have to dismantle negative gearing and rejig capital gains, which of course the Labor Party would like to do anyway, while pretending they don't. No. We don't want to do this. No, I can just see the protest. We didn't want to do this, but we had to get our housing package through, so we had to compromise. You know, politics is about the art of compromise, you know. No, it's not. It's about sleazy backroom deals. Are we that stupid? Negative gearing and capital gains incentives have enabled ordinary Australians. Yes, and that includes the 75% of parliamentarians who've invested in properties negatively geared. And it has helped us all to become more financially independent. Wealth creation. The socialists don't believe in that. See, the moment you become wealthy, you become independent, you become, well, harder to handle. I'm convinced they'd love us all to be on a pension. Now, I have had investment properties, but I don't now. But property, to my mind, is the best investment anyone can have. And that includes superannuation. And if the government had half a brain, it would be pursuing that, encouraging people to be independently, I wouldn't say wealthy, but financially independent. Alexei Navalny. Alexei, by the way, of course, means helpful, if you didn't know. Helpful. The former Russian opposition leader, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. They, and by they I mean Putin, first tried to kill him with deadly nerve gas. Well, it wasn't nerve gas, was it? It was their favourite nerve agent, a thing called Novichok. Then, after recovering from that, he nearly died. He returned to Russia. He was arrested. Oh, there were, I don't know, 20 different charges. They jailed him for 30 years. And now, as you know, he is dead. Does anyone imagine that Putin wasn't behind his death? With Putin there, you know, really, it's only a matter of time before the USA has to confront the elephant in the room. The good and the evil just might have to go to war too, after decades of heading in that direction, just may have to settle it one way or the other. I cannot see there being a diplomatic solution with Putin. A very volatile, dangerous situation. Pete, did you like the Beach Boys?
Yes, I was a Beach Boys fan.
Yes. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, he wrote most of their stuff. He has been put into care. The wonderful songs that he wrote, that they sang, he lost his wife of 30 years a few weeks ago, and those around him decided that he couldn't look after himself or his affairs, which is very sad, and they just put him into care. I don't know quite what I would do if somebody tried to put me into care. Pete?
I ain't going.
I ain't going either. Something to ponder. It's been revealed that the gap or out-of-pocket costs for people having an operation has gone up 300% since COVID. There are reports of some orthopedic procedures where the gap could be as much as $10,000 or $12,000. So much for private health insurance. I mean, that whole thing has gone so far off the rails. I don't know. I scratch my head. I have to question it. But then again, I've been lucky with my health so far. Touch wood. I don't know. That'll do. Let me tell you about the lovely Rising Sun restaurant, one of our sponsors. It's in Bridge Street, Kensington. I was talking to Grant, who owns the place. He's owned it for years. And I was telling him how we just got our first sponsor, Jim Elder's wonderful art gallery on Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. And Grant said, well, include me in. I said, well, absolutely. Now, these are two wonderful South Australian institutes. I'm terribly proud to have them on board, I can tell you. The Rising Sun here in Adelaide, if you're visiting, or if you live here, you'd probably know about it. The atmosphere and food are terrific. It's a very old inn. 1845 it was built. All the bricks are handmade. It's heritage listed, as you'd expect. It's kind of hidden on a tranquil little street called Bridge Street in Kensington. Oozes old world charm, open fires, but mod cons, you know, air conditioning and all that kind of thing. Great all year round venue for everything. Dinner Monday through Saturday, lunch Thursday through Sunday. Yes, that's right, Thursday through Sunday. I've been going there for years, for yonks. They've got 5 different spaces, a lovely bar, 5 different spaces. You can configure it any way you like for events, functions, weddings, birthdays, cocktail parties, corporates, group functions, indoor, outdoor. I don't know what to tell you, except I'll give you the phone number. That's the most important thing. Here it is. It's 8333 0721 to make a booking. And let them know, let Grant know that I suggested that you call the Rising Sun Inn, Kensington. It is just lovely. 8333 0721. They'll make you feel very welcome. Frank Pangello wants to, he's a member of the upper house. He was my producer for years, and he worked at Channel 7, and he's a dear friend, the Honourable Frank Pangello. He wants the Adelaide City Council to cut down all the magnificent river red gums along roadways and the parklands because they might drop a limb and cause harm. Yes, well, they might. Frank, I love you dearly, but really, the thing that makes our city livable and lovable are our trees and parklands. And what happened to that poor student in the parklands in near Memorial Drive? There was a freak accident. We talked about it last week. A tree branch fell, a freak accident. Frank, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I get very upset when I see people cutting down trees, just in case. You know what I mean? A massive fine for Donald Trump. It's more than $500 million. And he's banned from doing business in New York for 3 years. Can't even open or operate a bank account with any bank that operates in New York, which means every bank. Now, I don't know. I mean, is it a conspiracy? Are they out to get him? I tell you, it looks like it to me. Now, if the anti-Trump movement is any more successful, and Biden makes a couple more slips and stumbles, maybe neither will be there on election day. Colourful place, America. Never a dull moment. But maybe through it all could ride some knight on a white horse. I don't know. I got no idea. Unemployment, you might have noticed, is up 3.9% to 4.1%. That's a 2-year high. But to put it in human terms, which I always like to try and do, that's 32,000 people who lost their jobs last month. Now, it is what the RBA wants, the Reserve Bank of Australia. Takes the pressure off their need to hike interest rates, which takes the pressure off them and the government. Maybe even it's encouragement to in fact lower the interest rates, but I predict that they will stay where they are through till the end of the year, and there will be one prior to Christmas, one 25%, or when I say that, 0.25% drop. Cut. How much time have we got, Pete?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yes.
Even after the catastrophic events in Victoria last week, Labor is still in hot pursuit of renewables. Like Aboriginal affairs, they just don't seem to see what is right in front of them, what is glaringly obvious. Listen. Nothing works without electricity, your philosophy included. Nothing. Everything stops without good, cheap, reliable baseload electricity. We all should be able to see that Labor's policies can't even keep the lights on. The first rule of politics is surely do no harm. Do no harm. Makes no sense what happened in Victoria, but it can happen all over this country. if Labour goes on unchecked, it's a wake-up call. No mobile phones, no traffic lights, no banking, no schools, no NBN, no computers, no refrigeration, no lifts, no security, airports can't work, trains, hospitals, all stop, no life support. Farmers can't even milk the cows. When the electricity grid is vulnerable, everything is vulnerable. Would you vote for that? We'll save the world and make your life miserable. And of course, what we do with renewables makes no difference to the world whatsoever. So it's a total con, a total waste of time. Pete, have you got that global warming, the demonstration of global warming through the ages?
Yes. Yes, we should slip that in here.
Can you slip that in there?
We do that.
I like that. And you've got another one on electric cars too.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I think it's very sarcastic, but very funny. Very right, too. We might do that one tomorrow, because you're going to sing us a song, are you?
Well, I'm going to play a song.
We're going to play a song.
Play a song by First Aid Kit is the name of the duo.
Oh.
First Aid Kit, a couple of young girls who were inspired by Emmylou Harris.
Oh,
and
okay.
Emmylou Harris is in the audience.
I love Emmylou Harris.
It's a beautiful, Emmylou Harris sheds a tear or two. It's just a beautiful thing.
How come Emmylou Harris was in the audience?
I don't know. I don't know what the occasion was.
I'd love to get her on the show. Okay, so it's the 19th, 1942, on this day. A few dates for you. About 150 Japanese warplanes attacked the city of Darwin on this very day in 1942. In 1945, the US Fifth Fleet launches an invasion of Iwo Jima against the Japanese with 30,000 Marines. I can't tell you how many Japs were on the island, but I tell you what, they fought to the death. It was probably the fiercest battle of the Second World War, certainly the worst battle in the Pacific. 1945, 980 Japanese soldiers reportedly killed by crocodiles in 2 days in Burma. Well,
it's hard to believe.
It's an ill wind that doesn't blow somebody some good. Dear, oh dear. I mean, who was there and who was counting? 980 Japanese soldiers killed by crocodiles in Burma in 1 day. Oh, it couldn't be, could it? Well, I don't explain them, I just read them.
Well, apparently they don't eat you straight away.
Oh, they digest you over time.
No, they take the body and they store it for a while, so.
I don't need to know the details. 1964, the UK flies 1/2 ton of beetle wigs to the United States of America, where they sell like hotcakes. Beetle wigs in America. God. Thomas Edison is granted a patent for his cylinder phonograph in 1878 on this day. Smokey Robinson, American soul singer, songwriter, The Miracles, You Really Got a Hold on Me, Tears of a Clown, My Girl, born Detroit, Michigan, 1940. The USSR informs JFK it is withdrawing several thousand troops from Cuba on this day in 1963. Goes to show what you can do if you stand up to a bully, as JFK did. You see, he was prepared to go to war. He was prepared to go through with it. Sometimes you have to be as determined as that. Nicholas Copernicus, the Polish mathematician and astronomer who theorized that planets revolved around the sun, they made him a heretic. I mean, they hounded him for heresy. And he was perfectly right. 1473. Peter Sellers got married to Britt Eklund in London in 1964. I got a picture over there with Britt when she came to visit me in 5DN. I'm not sure why she came. It was a movie or a book or something, I can't remember. Jeff Daniels, American actor, Dumb and Dumber. The Newsroom, born in Athens, Georgia, 1955. The first American Music Awards, where, do you know who won, Pete?
No.
Helen Reddy and Jim Croce, 1974.
Really?
Yeah. William Keith Kellogg, after falling out with his brother over development and also credit for the company, Kellogg's, wanted to add sugar to the cereal. Anyway, what happened was the company split. He and his brother, I don't know whether they ever talked again afterwards, but his brother went off and established Sanitarium, and the Battle Creek Company, the Toasted Cornflake Company, is still in existence today and doing quite nicely, thank you very much, with added sugar. That was in 1906. Lee Harper, the American author, To Kill a Mockingbird, dies at 89 in 2016. Oh, yeah, I remember that. George Harrison is ordered to pay ABKCO Music $587,000 for subconscious plagiarism. You better be careful, Pete.
Oh, no.
Subconscious plagiarism for his song My Sweet Lord, which reminded people of Ronnie Mack's song called He's So Fine, which was the Chiffons.
I can't remember.
I think it was the Chiffons. He's so fine, my sweet Lord.
Oh, you see, that's ridiculous.
But isn't it?
Look, there are only so many chords
in the world, yes.
You are going to copy
something.
No,
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's
Look,
insane.
I totally agree with you. Okay, now, we have music, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Peter Clayton and I will be back. Believe in yourself. Thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion, and enjoy this with us.
Thank you. When we were 14 and 16, we discovered the music of Emmylou Harris and Graham Parsons, and it was quite the musical revelation for us. And we were so inspired that we wrote this song, which is about the joy and the magic of singing together with someone that you love.
And we never ever thought that we'd play this in front of you, Emmylou. It's an incredible honor. Thank you so much for all the inspiration.
Just sing.
much of you. Just sit, little darling.